Here's an angel, right next to Emily. Mr. Knox! Mr. Knox, come over here! We got one!
What's going on?
There's an angel massaging Hammerling's shoulders.
This is ridiculous. I don't know what you're seeing, but there's no one with Hammerling.
She's rubbing his shoulders.
And what should I do about it?
What do you mean? Pinch it.
Hammerling can't hit the broadside of a barn. I can't substitute my worst hitter for my best hitter.
If you want to hit, you'll put in Hammerling.
It's crazy. You forget about it.
But he's got an angel.
Wait a minute, what's the worst thing that could happen? We're gonna fall out of last place. Sit down, Mitchell. You're up, Hammerling.
Yeah? Hammerling for Mitchell! Go back to Cincinnati!
See the pitch? What the? What's up?
She was with Mel Clark.
Impossible. Mel's arm is gone.
I don't care. He should start the game.
No way. Besides, he's not even on the active roster.
If the angel pitches with him, he'll be awesome.
Talk about heat. Mesmer felt that one.
Here's an angel.
All right, giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rakakwadash. With all thanks for another day, another breath of life, another opportunity to bring out a lesson. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone. Salutations to my fellow laborers, pushing this truth in all sincerity. And shalom to saints. Yahawah willing, this lesson will be edifying, relevant unto salvation for the hopeful elect. And the inspiration for this lesson comes about as a result of that video that you just saw in the intro of this video that came across one of my feeds, and I had an emotional response to it, you know. I mean, of course the imagery is not accurate, but the understanding that there are angels that we cannot see that are actively intervening on our behalf is something that I am familiar with personally, you know. I have had people come up against me with what they call voodoo. I don't think I've ever shared this in this format, but I've had people come against me with some of those dark magics, okay? And people who are not familiar with such things might scoff. Just because, you know, they don't believe it. But just as they are good spirits and good angels, as it were, they are also evil angels. You can read about that in Psalms, I think it's 78:49. Psalm 78:49. Let me just see here. Psalm 78:49. It says, he cast upon them the fierceness of his anger, wrath, and indignation, and trouble, by sending evil angels among them. You see that? So there's a lot going on in the hidden realm, okay? And the title of this lesson is The Things Not Seen Are Eternal. The things not seen are eternal. So some people might go through life and, not understand that there are hidden forces behind the scenes that are supernatural. But me, I've personally experienced events that I know that these things are real. And I'm not going to go into great detail with it, but suffice to say that I have a profound sense of gratitude to the Most High for not only delivering me from said evils, but also for allowing me to see them and witness them with my own eyes in a physical sense. That helps me to understand that not only are these things real, but the Most High protected me from them. And this was when I was not in the truth. And so even before I repented, as it were, the Most High had my back. I want to get that verse that says there's no enchantment. I think it's in the book of Numbers. I know it's I'm not sure what chapter it is, but I think it's a double digit that repeats in the book of Numbers for the chapter and the verse. But let me just find it here. Just bear with me, because I didn't go to any witch doctor to try and seek relief like people sometimes do when people come up against them with these dark forces. All right, I just prayed to the Most High in the best way I could. I didn't know his name back then, and I didn't even know that I was an Israelite. But I prayed, and he delivered me. Numbers 23:23. Let me get that. And it says in Numbers 23:23, it says, surely there is no enchantment against Jacob, neither is there any divination against Israel. According to this time it shall be said of Jacob and of Israel, what hath the Most High wrought? So, they could come against us with these things, but they're not gonna ultimately prevail. You check it out. But again, I'm grateful to the individual or the individuals who came up against me with these dark sciences and dark magics, black magics as it were, because like I said, it allowed me to know that there is a hidden realm, not to believe it or not to guess about it, or to know definitively, and also to understand that there is a higher power that has control over those dark forces, man, and allowed them to come up to a certain level where I could recognize that they were trying to destroy me, but still that they could only go thus far and no further. So Kal Halal Watawada Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. That means all praises and thanks to the Most High and His only begotten Son. Alright, but the title of this lesson is The Things Not Seen Are Eternal. I want to get Isaiah now. The book of Isaiah chapter 45. verse 15, it says, Verily, thou art a power that hidest thyself, O power of Israel, the Savior. Verily, thou art a power that hidest thyself. Yeah, the Most High is not is not showing himself right now. You know, he's laying back. Let me get that one. It says he would go and return to his place because we didn't want to listen. Let me find that one real quick. Hosea 5:15. The book of Hosea 5:15 shows you in part why the Most High is a power that hideth himself. Hideth himself. Just read it here. It says, Hosea 5:15, I will go and return to my place till they acknowledge their offense and seek my face. In their affliction they will seek me early. Yeah, so because, you know, we had a covenant with the Most High through Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and we didn't fulfill our part of the program. And so the Most High just left us up to ourselves. And so he's a power that hideth himself, so that people can think like Psalms 14:1 says, you know, the fool says in his heart that there is no God or there is no power. You check? Because the Most High is hiding himself. But Matthew 7:7 says that, you know, you seek and ye shall find. And if you truly are seeking for the Most High, then, you know, he's going to reveal himself to you. Let's get Proverbs 25:2. Well, most people ain't interested in really seeking the Most High, man, because in order to even seek him, he has to put that desire in you. And most people are just like cattle. You know, they have no other desire but to eat, defecate, and have sex. You know, drink liquor, cheap liquor, or smoke weed, or whatever brings them pleasure, you know. But this is Proverbs 25:2. It says, it is the glory of the Most High to conceal a thing, but the honor of kings is to search out a matter. You see that? So the glory of the Most High is to conceal those things, man, so that, you know, first of all, it differentiates those who even give a damn about these spiritual things, you know, because only then are you going to go and search them out. You know, these spiritual things were seen. You know, everyone would think, you know, on these things. But since they're hidden, only a few people are actually going to find them, because most people are not going to search for these things. You check it out? Let's get Isaiah now. The 60th chapter. In the second verse it says, for behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. But the Most High shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee. You see that? So there's gross darkness on this earth, man. Even though knowledge has been increased pursuant to Daniel 12, verse 4 on down, you know, people are not growing in wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Some of us are. Some of us are studying to show ourselves approved, like you talk about in 2 Timothy 2:15. Some of us are reading, like you talk about in Revelation 1 and 3. Some of us are proving all things, like you talk about in 1 Thessalonians 5:21. But most of our people remain in the congregation of the dead. Let's get that one. This is Proverbs 21:16. It says, the man that wandereth out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead. You check that out? That's why Yahawashi told that man to let the dead bury their dead, because there's the dead that are walking around, looking around, touching things, talking, animated as it were, but they're spiritually dead because they don't have any understanding. They are covered in gross darkness. They cannot see. They cannot perceive. They do not understand that the things that are not seen are the real things. They don't understand. Let's get John the 1st chapter. There's that saying that goes, seeing is believing, but you don't only see with your eyes, man. This is John chapter 1 verse 5. It says, and the light shineth in darkness. This truth is being shown in the darkness of this world, on the street corners and on the internet. But what? It says, and the darkness comprehended it not. Yeah, the people don't understand it, man. They think that it's just some other religion. They think that it's just some group of madmen trying to, cling on to an identity that doesn't belong to them. They don't understand that these are the dry bones that were prophesied to wake up in Ezekiel 37? All that you see happening with the Hebrew Israelite movement is prophecy. This is Ezekiel 37 and starting from verse 10, it says, maybe 9. Then said he unto me, prophesy unto the wind, prophesy, son of man, and say in the wind, thus saith Yahawah power, come from the four winds, O breath, and breathe upon these slain, that they may live. Speaking about our people, before we had access to this truth. So I prophesied as he commanded me, and the breath came into them, and they lived, and stood upon their feet, an exceeding great army. Then he said unto me, son of man, these bones are the whole house of Israel. Behold, they say, our bones are dry, and our hope is lost, and we are cut off from our parts. It goes on, therefore prophesy and say unto them, thus saith the Most High Power, behold, O my people, I will open your graves and cause you to come up out of your graves and bring you into the land of Israel. You check that out? So we are coming out of our graves, man. We are coming out of the congregation of the dead. We are waking up out of the sepulchre of ignorance. And we are understanding that the things that we see are not the real things. The things which are not seen, those are the things that are eternal. You check it out? But you ask your so-called Christian pastor, what does Ezekiel 37, what is that talking about? He can't give you an answer. But yet he will deny the awakening of the Hebrew Israelites as some kind of, false religion. You check it out? The light is shining in the darkness. The light is this truth, as we are prophesying it to be. And the darkness are the minds of the masses. They don't comprehend this truth. They think they don't understand. But they're going to understand. This is Ecclesiasticus now. Sirach, also known as the book of Sirach. Ecclesiasticus, 11th chapter. And the 4th verse, it says, boast not of thy clothing and raiment, and exalt not thyself in the day of honor. For the works of Yahawah, Bahasham Yahawashi, are wonderful, and his works among men are hidden. So what does this mean? Obviously the sun and the moon are not hidden, the stars are not hidden, the earth is not hidden, the sea and the rivers and the birds and the fish and the bees and the beasts of the field and man and woman, children, these are not hidden. But it says the works of the Most High are hidden among men. That's speaking about the spiritual realm, those things that are not seen. In part, the spirits that are in a different dimension that we cannot perceive with our eyes. But they are very much real and intervening on our behalf. You know? Let's get Sirach 43 now. Sirach chapter 43 from verse 29. It says, the Most High is terrible and very great, and marvelous is his power. When ye glorify the Most High, exalt him as much as ye can, for even yet will he far exceed. And when ye exalt him, put forth all your strength, and be not weary, for ye can never go far enough. Yeah, that reminds me of that story about David, dancing before the Most High and praising him with all his strength and with all his might, just like it commands us to do. And one of his wives was took offense to that, In a lot of instances, a lot of our women, you so-called black women in particular, and you Hispanics too, and Native Indians, so-called, you see us fervent in this truth, dancing as it were, by prophesying and being excited about, this ministry, and you secretly take offense to it. We see you, man. You take offense to it. You check it out. Because you love your slave master. That's why you want us to be perpetually under him. You have something worse than Stockholm Syndrome because, Anyway, that's why Jacob's trouble is necessary, alright? That's why they're mobilizing an ICE campaign to come up against the 2/3. You check it out? And you simps are going to get it too, man. But anyway, it says in Sirach 44, verse 30, when ye glorify the Most High, exalt him as much as ye can, for even yet will he far exceed. And when ye exalt him, put forth all your strength, and be not weary, for ye can never go far enough. Who, and this is the point, no, this is not the point, almost the point. Who hath seen him, that he might tell us? Yeah, that's part of the point, because none of us ain't seen the Heavenly Father and his only begotten Son. The things which are not seen are the real things, the eternal things. And the most important things that we cannot see, or the most important persons, as it were, are the Most High and his only begotten Son. And it's our lifelong dream to be able to look upon him. You check it out? Right now we can't do that in these physical bodies, man. We'll be destroyed. It says, who hath seen him that he might tell us? Nobody, that's who. And who can magnify him as he is? Nobody. Verse 32, there are yet hid greater things than these be, for we have seen but a few of his works. See that? We have seen but a few of his works. All that we have seen, all that the eye can see, just represent a few of his works. The title of this lesson is The Things Not Seen Are Eternal. Kal halal Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. All praises, glory, and honor to Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. So this is the book of 2 Kings now, to give you an example of that. Alright, what we're talking about here. 2 Kings and the 6th chapter. I'm going to start from maybe the 11th verse. It says, therefore the heart of the king of Syria was sore troubled for this thing. And he called his servants and said unto them, will ye not show me which of us is for the king of Israel? And one of his servants said, none, my lord, O king, but Elisha, the prophet that is in Israel, telleth the king of Israel the words that thou speakest in thy bedchamber. And he said, go and spy where he is, that I may send and fetch him. And it was told him, saying, behold, he is in Dothan. Therefore sent he thither horses and chariots, and a great host. And they came by night, and compassed the city about. And when the servant of the man of the Most High was risen early and gone forth, behold, an host compassed the city, both with horses and chariots. And his servant said unto him, alas, my master, how shall we do? So Elisha the prophet was there, and his servant was with him in the city, and they saw that, wow, we're compassed with these enemies, man. These enemies have surrounded us. How shall we do? What's going to happen to us? Is what the servant is asking. And he answered, fear not. Elisha answered the servant and said, fear not, for they that be with us are more than they that be with them. You check that out. So the servant sees this massive armada, as it were, on land. To use that most recent term that Trump used to describe the military force that gone to the Persian Gulf, right? But he said, fear not, for they are more with us than are with them. And Elisha prayed and said, Master, I pray thee, open his eyes that he may see. And the Most High opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw, and behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire round about Elisha. And when they came down to him, Elisha prayed unto the Most High and said, smite this people, I pray thee, with blindness. And he smote them with blindness, according to the word of Elisha. And Elisha said unto them, this is not the way, neither is this the city. Follow me, I will bring you to the man whom ye seek. But he led them to Samaria. And it goes on, and you can read the account on your own to get the full gist of what happened, right? But the point I'm trying to make here is that if we could only see what was going on in the dimension that these angels exist in, man, we will see constant activity, man. Because they are more with us than they are with them. With them meaning the people of this world. We have more protection than they have. Even though we can't see it with our eyes. Most of the time. You check it out? The things not seen are the real things. But this society has everything backwards. They say, oh, seeing is believing. Nah, seeing is not believing. Believing comes from faith, and faith is a special gift that the Most High gave to his servants. You check it out? Let's get 2 Corinthians, the 4th chapter. Starting from the 16th verse, it says, for which, maybe start from verse 14, 2 Corinthians 4 verse 14, knowing that he which raised up the Master Yahawashi shall raise up us also by Yahawashi, and shall present us with you. For all things are for your sakes, that the abundant grace might might through the thanksgiving of many Salakia. For all things are for your sakes, that the abundant grace might be through the thanksgiving of many redound to the glory of the Most High. For which cause we faint not, but though our outward man perish, yet the inward man is renewed day by day. For, we're getting older, this outer man is getting older and, perhaps weaker, but our spirit, the inner man, is being renewed every day. Tawada Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. For our light affliction, which is but for a moment, worketh for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory. Yeah, this temporary thing that we're going through is nothing compared to what we're going to receive. It goes on, while we look not on the things that are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal. Let me read that again. While we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporal or temporary, but the things which are not seen are eternal. And that's where we get the title of this lesson, man. It's all through the Spirit, all through the Word. So our outer man, is dying. Not only our physical bodies, but our own mortal thoughts. We are subjecting them to the thoughts of the Most High through His Word, through His Spirit, and being renewed every day, being quickened. You check it out. Let's get wisdom of Solomon. Third chapter. I'm going to start from the top. Verse all the way down to verse 11. It says, but the souls of the righteous are in the hand of the Most High, and there shall no torment touch them. In the sight of the unwise they seem to die, and their departure is taken for misery. In the sight of the unwise, the righteous seem to die, and their departure is taken for misery, and they're going from us to be utter destruction, but they are in peace. For though they be punished in the sight of men, yet is their hope full of immortality. And having been a little chastised, they shall be greatly rewarded. For Yahawah proved them and found them worthy for Himself. As gold in the furnace hath He tried them, and received them as a burnt offering. And in the time of their visitation they shall shine, and run to and fro like sparks among the stubble. Obadiah 1:18. Read that to find out who the stubble is going to be, and who the sparks and the fire is going to be. Alright? Verse 8. They shall judge the nations, and have dominion over the people, and their master shall reign forever. Yeah, like you talk about in Luke 1:33. Or Luke 1:31 down to 33. Yahawashi is going to reign over all the kingdoms, and He's going to appoint His elect men to rule over the nations. You check it out. Ask your pastor about that, see if he understand. It says, they that put their trust in Him shall understand the truth, and such as be faithful in love shall abide with Him. For grace and mercy is to His saints, and He hath care for His elect. And He hath care for His elect. It's all about the elect. But the ungodly shall be punished according to their own imaginations, which have neglected the righteous and forsaken the Most High. For whoso despiseth wisdom and nurture, he is miserable, and their hope is vain. Their labor is unfruitful, and their works unprofitable. You check it out. But it says, in the sight of the unwise, the righteous, the saints, the elect, seem to die. Because our outer man is dying daily, withering away. But our spirit is being renewed. So like we just read in Wisdom of Solomon, the saints seem to die. But they don't really die. They are at peace. This is John now, chapter 7 from verse 33. It says, Then said Yahawashi unto them, Yet a little while I am with you, and then yet a little while am I with you, and then I go unto him that sent me. Ye shall seek me, and shall not find me. And where I am, thither ye cannot come. Then said the Jews among themselves, Whither will he go, that we shall not find him? Will he go unto the dispersed among the Gentiles, and teach the Gentiles? Yeah, so they were wondering, is he going to go to the dispersed Israelites that were scattered among the Gentiles? Because this truth is only for the Israelites, man. Salvation is only for the Israelites. And if you understand the Bible correctly and in its entirety, and you don't delete anything and ignore anything and put all the pieces together, you have to come to that conclusion. Otherwise, it's a contradictory book, which it's not. But Yahawashi was telling them, listen, I'm going back to him who sent me, and you can't come. You check? This is John 14 now. Starting from the top, it says, Let not your heart be troubled. Ye believe in the Most High, believe also in me. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there ye may be also. And whither I go, ye know, and the way ye know. You see that? So Yahawashi made a way for us, so that we can also be where he is, in a timeless place. Ultimately we're going to come right back down here on earth and rule these other nations in righteousness. So we don't have to be afraid, even of death. That's what it means when it says, is it John 8:32? Let's get that. Yes, it says, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Yeah, you can't be fearful and still free. Being free is being carefree, physically free, mentally free, spiritually free. When you know this truth, you ain't worried about nothing, man. Ultimately, you know that everything is in the hand of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. So what's there to be worried about? What's there that can happen to you that is not sanctioned by him? And therefore you accept it, whatever it may be. You check? Let's get, did we get John 14 already? Let's get Luke chapter 12. We don't have to worry about nothing, alright? Luke chapter 12, I'm going to start from verse 16. It says, and he spake a parable unto them, saying, the ground of a certain rich man brought forth plentifully, and he thought within himself, saying, what shall I do, because I have no room to bestow my fruits? Yeah, this rich farmer had all kinds of things that he could see. He goes on, and he said, this will I do. I will pull down my barns and build greater, and there will I bestow all my fruits and my goods. And I will say to myself, and I will say to my soul, soul, thou hast much goods laid up for many years. Take thine ease, eat, drink, and be merry. But Yahawah said unto him, thou fool, this night thy soul is required of thee. Then whose shall those things be which thou hast provided? So is he that layeth up treasure for himself, and is not rich towards the Most High. See that? And he said unto his disciples, therefore I say unto you, take no thought for your life, what ye shall eat, neither for the body, what ye shall put on. The life is more than meat, and the body is more than raiment. Consider the ravens, for they sow not, nor reap, which neither have storehouse nor barn, and the Most High feedeth them. How much more are ye better than the fowls? And it goes on in verse 31, but rather seek ye the kingdom of the Most High, and all these things shall be added unto you. Fear not, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. Yeah, that little flock is the remnant of the Israelites, okay? The 1/3. The Israelites are the ones who are referred to as sheep, like you talk about in Jeremiah 50 and 6, where we became lost sheep. You have groups of sheep referred to as flocks. You check that out? So the kingdom is for the little flock of Israelites, the sheep that are now lost, that are being found, that Yahawashi came to shed his blood for. Okay? So that's what we are setting our sights on. The kingdom which is not yet seen. Check? Because the title of this lesson is, the things not seen are eternal. And some of those things that are not seen are our angels, all right, that protect us. And if you really believe that, then you don't really live in fear at all. Let's get Psalms 34. And verse 7, it says, the angel of the Most High encampeth round about them that fear him, and delivereth them. Yeah. We fear the Most High. That's for sure. That's partially, why we do this work and continue so doing, because we don't want him to be vexed with us. So the angel of the Most High encamps around those that fear him and delivereth them. So we can't see the angel, but we believe that he's there. Let's get Psalms 91. Remember, this whole thing is about faith, Psalms 91. I'm going to get verse Maybe I'll start from the top. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Most High, Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, He is my refuge and my fortress, my power. In Him will I trust. Surely He shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler, and from the noisome pestilence. He shall cover thee with His feathers, and under His wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. Only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked. Behold, thou hast made Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation. There shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. And this is the point. For He shall give His angels charge over thee, to keep thee in all thy ways. They shall bear thee up in their hands, lest thou dash thy foot against a stone. Thou shalt tread upon the lion and the adder, and the young lion and the dragon shalt thou trample under feet. Because He hath set His love upon me, therefore will I deliver him. I will set him on high, because he hath known my name. What is his name? Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. And you can tell pretty much everything you want to tell or want to know about an Israelite just by the name that they use for the Most High, okay? Anybody calling a Yah? Matter of fact, I met a Yah Israelite the other day. And he despises the camps, and he is seeking to purchase a home in Spanish Lookout. If you know anything about Belize, Spanish Lookout is a Mennonite enclave or community, as it were. A bunch of German Edomites for the most part. And some Yeshaya Israelites and Ahaya Israelites came to Belize also and went to buy land in that same area of Spanish Lookout. They want to be under the shadow of Esau Edom, man. They don't want to be under the shadow of the Most High. They don't want to be under His feathers. They want to trust in man and be close to the so-called white man. They call in a Yah and a Ahaya and Yeshaya. Just by the name that they use, you know that they don't have the truth. But the title of this lesson is The Things Not Seen Are Eternal. Continuing on in Psalms 91. Because He hath set His love upon me, therefore will I deliver him. I will set him on high, because he hath known my name, Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. There's no other name under heaven where men can be saved. Okay? Acts 2:21. And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Most High, Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, shall be saved. So if you call in on the name of somebody, you have to get it correct, or else they're going to look at you, cross-eyed like, what? Who? And they're just going to ignore you. Alright? Psalm 91, the last verse. With long life will I satisfy him and show him my salvation. So yeah, the angels are going to lift us up in their hands so we don't stumble and dash our feet against a stone. But this whole thing is about faith, man. And faith is also one of those things not seen. Faith is something eternal. Because the things which are not seen are eternal. Let's get that in James 2:5. And we almost done. James chapter 2, verse 5. It says, Hearken, my beloved brethren, hath not the Most High chosen the poor of this world, rich in faith, and heirs of the kingdom, which he hath promised to them that love him? Yeah, the rich people, they trust in all the riches that they have. They don't have durable riches, like you talk about in Proverbs 8:18, I think it is. They don't have durable riches. They have temporary riches. Silver and gold have I not, but I have faith. And like it says in Luke 17:5, we ask Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi to increase our faith. Proverbs 8:18 says, riches and honor are with me. Yeah, durable riches and righteousness. Yeah, that's talking about faith, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, which is going to be our stability in these times that we're coming up on. Like we talk about in Isaiah 33:6. Those are things that you cannot see. Wisdom is something that you cannot see. You might see it when it manifests itself, and understanding when it manifests itself, but these things are not readily available for your sight. Check it out. Neither is faith. Let's close off now with 2 Peter. Second Peter, the 3rd chapter from the 9th verse. It says, Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi is not slack concerning his promise, as some men count slackness, but is long-suffering to usward, not willing that any should perish, but that all should come to repentance. But the day of the Most High will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, all these temporary things, these world governments and these kingdoms and these houses and all these things, material things. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be? In all holy conversation and godliness, looking for and hasting unto the coming of the day of the Most High, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness. Yeah, the new heaven and the new earth, we can't see that. I mean, it's not there for us to gaze upon. We believe that by faith. The things that are not seen are eternal. It says, wherefore, beloved, seeing that ye look for such things as cannot be seen, be diligent that ye may be found of him in peace, without spot and blameless, and account that the long suffering of our Master is salvation, even as our beloved brother Paul also, according to the wisdom given unto him, hath written unto you. And it goes on. So seeing that all these things that we can see with our eyes are going to be dissolved and destroyed and come to nothing, let us set our affection on the things that are above. Like you talk about in Colossians 3 verse 2 on down. Set our affection and our desire and our hope and our faith on those things which are not seen, because the things not seen are eternal. So Yahawah willing, this has been an edifying lesson, relevant unto salvation for the hopeful elect. Giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi Bahasham Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone. Salutations to my fellow laborers, laboring in this truth with all sincerity. looking for and hasting the day of our power, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. Shalom.